All right, so we are back, and in this video, we're going to pick up where we left off, where we refactor the playbook into roles. So we have the general role and the Apache role. The general role basically just simply let's go into it. Simply updated the cache, and the Apache role installed the Apache web server. So now we're going to go ahead and install the PHP. Okay, so let's go into roles and let's create a folder called PHP. And then within the PHP folder create another directory called tasks. And within task, create the main.yaml file. Okay. And signify it's a YAML file. But again, this is optional, not required. Okay. And where are we? Okay. All right. So now we require some dependencies, right? First we would have to install the well, we have to add the PHP repo, the PHP repository, in which, in this case, I'm going to use the Andre J PHP repository. And once we have that, we can install PHP. But again, before we can actually add that repository, we require two packages. That package is the Python software properties and the software properties common package. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oops, just give it a name, and this one will be install PHP dependencies. Yeah, if I can spell. And this one would be the app, and we can. Okay, so it's two items, right? So we installed in two packages. So in this case, we're going to give it a name, and then we're going to add. So we're going to do the actually loop through each item. So it's going to be called item, and the state is present. Present. Okay. So within here, we can just say with items. And then we can just provide the package names, right? So this one would be Python software properties, and the next one would be software properties dash common. Okay, save that. All right, and the next task will be name, and then we're gonna install this one. We're just gonna add Andre J PHP repo. In this way, again, you can do it. You can run it as a shell. You can use a shell module, the command module. But in this one, I'm going to run it as a raw, using the raw module. And LC all equals C. So this is basically saying it's used to use UTF. Wait, not the C. Okay, we're gonna use the English USA. So that would be just en US, and then from here we can just add the UTF dot UTF UTF-8, and then we could just add the repository. So it'll be add app dash repository. Repository, and then we give the actual repo path. So PPA, and that's going to be Andre J PHP, and then we're going to hit Y for yes. Okay, and then the next no. That's going to be tricky because we have to run the update though, right? Because once we add that, I mean, we can add a we can just do it this way. I mean, this is not the best method. There's another method. We can add a handler where we could just call the handler to run the update, so we won't constantly have to rerun this created. Since we create it as a handler, we just call that handler and it runs it. But for now, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do it as is. So we can just say update app cache, and so it's going to be app update underscore cache equals yes. Okay, so once we run that update, and then now we can actually go ahead and install PHP. PHP 7.1. Okay, so and then it's going to be the same method. It's going to be apt name equals PHP 7.1 state equals present. Okay, and we actually call the role just PHP, right? Yep. So in the main, where if I can find, there we go, the role, we could just add PHP, clear this, and it's just run the playbook again. So it's going to go through the playbook. It's going to see what's already installed and what's not installed. And we have some errors. Let's go through it. Okay, so it looks like it's looking for the dictionary. It's a type dictionary, but that's the problem. Right here, I don't think it's indented, right? It's assuming it's like it's part of the iteration of that. So let's just move it. Oops, don't cut it. Let's move it out of it. What's going on? All right, so let's move it out. Save it, clear the screen, and rerun it. Okay, so again, it's saying this repository is not found. Add app repository, not found. Let's go back in that command and see what we did wrong. All right, misspelling, as you can see, repository. Remove the S. Save it. Rerun the playbook. So you see it added the installed the two packages. It ran the it installed the repo. It ran the update, and now it's trying to run install PHP. and it's saying that no package matching PHP 7.1. Okay, why cannot, I am not sure why it's not finding that. Alright, so that doesn't seem. Now it ran through the it installed the it installed the repository. It successfully ran the it updated the cache, and then when it tried running the PHP, it seems like it can't find PHP 7.1. Okay, so let's do a test. So that'll be cd code DevOps. What's in here? VMS 1 Vagrant file. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run a Vagrant SSH web 01. So I'm gonna basically what I would like to do, I would like to search the cache, right? I want to see if I can actually get to that, and then we would know that there's a problem. Cache, the package names. Then we're gonna grab just PHPs. Let's just do PHP. Okay, and we can see it goes all the way to PHP 5, and that's about it, right? There's no 7. Nope. Okay, so I think I know what the issue is. The issue may be actually with the repository, because I ran into that issue and it was fixed. So basically, lsb underscore release. Hey, so you see I'm running the Ubuntu precise 1204, right, as we had in the Vagrant file. But we would have to see if that's actually supported, right? That base is actually supported by the repository, the PHP repository that we're trying to add. Let's go to PPA. Ooh, yeah, that's Andre J PHP. Launchpad. Yep. Okay. So we can see here. View package details. And there you go. That's the issue. This PPA is currently publishes packages for these systems. And as you can see, precise is not listed. So that's going to be an issue, right? So, I mean, we can go another way. I can go and search for other repositories. I'm sure Ubuntu or PHP, for that matter, may have a repository already for it. But I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to spawn up a trusty 64 OS, and I'm going to, let's see, remove everything here. Basically, I'm just going to remove the PHP role. So, and then when we come back, we can add that role and then we can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. All right, and we're back. So basically, I updated the Vagrant file. I added the trusty 64, Ubuntu trusty 64 box. Then I ran the first I ran a Vagrant destroy web 01 command to remove that original box, the web 01 box, and then I updated this Vagrant file. Then I ran the Vagrant up web 01 command, and then I ran the basically I ran the the playbook I executed the Ansible playbook command, this command here, and it ran through each row or each task. And it installed, basically right now, it just updated the cache and installed Apache 2. So that was it. So, and this is, let's go into that box so we can see. So this is the Web01, the freshly built box. So now I can do an LSB release A. And we will see we have the trusty 64, I'm sorry, trusty, right? And we have that, it's listed here, trusty. So hopefully no issues. Okay. And we can see we have, let's do a sudo service Apache 2 status. What service, if you can spell. Okay, so we see Apache 2 is running on the Web01 box. Okay, so now I can go over here back into the playbook. I can undo that. So we're going to keep this row, which is basically this here, right? This is, it's going to go through here. It's going to install the PHP dependencies, which is the Python software properties common, and then it's going to add the repository, right? After it add the repository, it's going to update the cache, and then after the update, after it completes the updated, speak English, and then it's going to install PHP, PHP 7.1. Okay, clear this, and let's run the playbook. Hopefully we won't run into any issues. I ran into that issue like several months back, and it strangely precise was added to their list, and for whatever reason it was removed. Probably was a headache trying to maintain that distro or something. Okay, so now it's trying to install PHP 7.1. Taking this long, so it looks promising. And then possibly after we, yep, there we go. Successfully installed PHP 7, right? Okay. Now I was going to say that in order for us to actually test, we will have to, because we're integrating the PHP with Apache, right? So I did not add that feature. Perhaps I should just go into it and add it right here as a dependency, because it requires that Apache Apache mod module. So let's just continue to add some, and we can probably add some more. So it's the lib Apache 2, and then it's the mod dash PHP, and then in this case it's a 7.1 because that's the one we installed. Okay, and we can add more. Let's add, because we're gonna, after the PHP, we're gonna use you know, in order to have a full stack server, we require a database, so we're going to install MySQL. So let's just add that module here as well, which is PHP 7.1 dash MySQL. And then, as you can see, you can just keep adding to the list. Like, okay, what else? You know, we want more modules, right? We want more, such as curl or JSON, or you know, it's a host of modules you can add. So those two, we can add it for now. We may not even use it, but as you can see, we can add it, and it's not going to hurt, right? Because it's going to go through the list and it's going to say, oh, you know, it's going to go, it's linear, right? It's going to go down and say, okay, this is already installed, so it's going to skip, and it's just going to add. So it's not going to, you know, overhead is not going to be, you know, crazy. So this one would be PHP 7 dash curl, And the last one, let's give it PHP 7. Oops, 7. No way, right? Because we're doing 7.1. 7.1 dash curl 7.1 dash JSON. Save it. And okay, so it's installing that. You know, the only, this is a good step back for a minute, right? Because if we going down to the list, right, if we this will work because we actually ran this previously, right? But if you're running this for the first time, it will fail, right? Because it's gonna go, it have no idea what in the world is this right here, PHP 7.1, right? Because they didn't hit the repository yet. So basically, it's out of order, right? we trying to install PHP 7.1 modules before we actually added the repository, right? It will work this time because we actually ran it, and so the repository in PHP 7.1 is already installed, so it can go and it actually know how to pick this up. But to make it cleaner, let's just get rid of that, right? And we're going to say the name, right? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go here. We're going to just type item. Okay, we could get rid of that, right? So, yep, item state present, right? And then we're going to just say with items, right? Then we're going to say PHP 7.1 and all of this, right? So that's much better. So now it can actually, if you run this for this playbook for the first time, it would actually run without errors. Okay, let's rerun that. And I will show you a method also that we can actually run. Where is that? We can actually just jump ahead and we can run specific roles without actually going through each role. Let's just say we just want to go directly to this role and just install the, just a PHP because we already know General and Apache is working. For now, let's just see. Okay, so now it ran it installed the updates, it updated the cache, and it installed all the modules, right? So everything is good. And also, I mean, this is a kind of a mute point right now because we actually know it's actually working, right? Where is that? Oh, I actually SSH'd into it, right? I didn't actually. So basically, what I want to do, I want to actually go into this so you can actually see the cache, where we can see the package names, where we can actually see all the PHP 7.1 modules, right? And it probably goes with 7.3 if I'm not mistaken. So for now, I could just grep it PHP 7.1. Oops. Something is spelled incorrectly. App cache PK. Ooh, PKG. Okay. There you go. See. So if you not certain. So you see this right here, and here it is right here, and then we can find the curl. So these are the names that that's associated with this, right? So it's not, I'm not pulling the names out of the sky, right? It's actually part of the packages that we pulled from the repository. So you see curl right here, right? So basically that's what we have, and I'm sure it probably can go to 7.2. Yeah, and what's the highest? Nope, 7.3 oops. Oh, I guess 7.2 is the highest repository for that repo. PHP, I'm sorry, PHP 7.2. Okay, so now we're good for that. And what did we, let's see, we ran this. Okay, we ran that. Now it's not going to work just yet because we would have to restart the Apache. I could put that in comments, but I don't want to call that every time. I mean, I'm sorry, I mean general, I don't want to call it. Since that's part of, I'm gonna put it here, since this is part of the Apache, I'm sorry, this is part of PHP, right? So it's part of the PHP installation, right? So I'm gonna put it here. I'm going to say restart Apache 2. Okay. So the module we're going to use is called service. And it's basically the same thing, right? We're going to say we're going to provide the name of the service, right? So that is as if you're doing it from the command prompt, right? So I'm sorry, from the terminal. So it's basically going to be the same way. So we give it the service and the name and then the state of it, right? So the name of the service, right? So equals Apache 2 and then in the state restarting, right? So that's basically what you're going to give it the name and then we're just going to say what's the state. So it's basically going to say, oh, you want it to restart? Okay, so the state's going to be restarting. All right, so that's it for that. So I will show you a method. All right, so that will be a little different, right? Because we have Ansible playbook. But right now, I just want to run. If I can get here, I just want to run this role here, right? I want to skip general and Apache, just run this role. Okay, so I believe Ansible connection duck. All right, so yeah, okay, so we can just do it this way, except we're gonna add another module. We're gonna call it tags, and we don't have a name yet. So let's see, this tags, give it some random name. So what are we doing right now? I'll say install PHP, right? So that will be this. So in the role, is this the PHP role? Yeah. We just have to add a tag to it. So, and it's going to be the same as everyone else, same line that is as. So we're going to call it tags, and we're going to give it the actual name that we actually called it, which was install PHP. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I think this would have to actually be within the because ideally what happens is we it's supposed to be running one task per role, but we're running multiple things here, so that's the issue. So right, so that's gonna be that service. Okay, we can just say that, and then we can just give it the name, install Apache. All right, let's see. I'm sorry, install PHP. Let's see if it actually works. I mean, it's difficult right now because it's much easier to just running a specific task. But now that we're running roles, we actually doing executing the task from within the role. So that's why it's a little different. Yeah, and it's not liking the task here. All right, so this method is not going to work. So perhaps instead of adding the tags in the individual roles like this, right? Just delete that. Let's add it to the actual main playbook, right? So here, what we can do, we can actually call the PHP, call the role, right? And from there, we can actually give it a name, and then we can give it a task. I'm sorry, the tags. So basically, we have the name as is, right? So we have the name, right? So the name is PHP, right? We have that, and then we're going to give it the tags, right? So the tags, you can name it whatever you like, so we can keep it the same, right? So PHP and make it simple, right? PHP. So we have the name, tags, right? So and then here, we can call it. Instead, we can use the same method, right? But PHP, right? So we added additional parameters, dash tags, and then followed by the tag name, which is PHP. And we gave the tag name here, PHP. Okay, let's run it. Okay, so now it's looking into the system to see what it has, and now it's see it bypassed the other two modules, as you can see, right? So, so basically, it's not installing the Apache, right? And the first one was to update the cache, bypass that, bypass installing Apache. It just went directly to the PHP section. See, PHP installed the dependencies, added the repository, updated the cache, installed the PHP 7.1, restart Apache. Now all of this information is this, right? See, restart Apache was the last one. Install PHP 7, which is here, and if you keep going up, you will see. Okay, so that's looking good now. All right, so let's quickly test the PHP section of it, right? So we basically want to know if we verify that PHP is running, right? So we can create a PHP file. So we restart it. So let's add it here. Okay. So basically, we're going to create a PHP file, right? So create PHP info file. Okay, so and then we're going to use the line in file module. Okay, and the destination will be, is it var? Yeah, Yes, so it's var www.html, right? So var w HTML, and we can just place it right in there. So we can call it info php info .php. Okay, and then from here we can start replacing so we can use a regex regular expression reg. Yep. P. Then we're gonna use the caret. Okay. Then we're just gonna use the line, and from here we can just start placing the PHP content, right? So PHP info. Okay, and that's all PHP. And we give it a new line if you like. Okay, that's that. And then we want to say state equals present. So basically this file here, we want it present. Okay, save that. And again, just run the playbook with the tag, PHP tag. And it's not liking that, right? What is going on? It's not liking that line. Okay. Okay, so perhaps this has to be indented, right? So it won't get confused thinking it's part of something else. So we have the destination line and file. Okay. Yep. Regular expression, reg expression. Looks good. Okay, save that. Let's give it another go. Name. It's not liking the name. Golly. Alright, so right here, it seems this may be the issue, right? Dest, and then just its string, its destination equals. Save that. Run it again. Okay, what's going on? Destination, blah, blah, does not exist. Okay. All right, so perhaps the present is not sufficient, right? Maybe we have to probably add that create true or yes. So create equals true. Save it. Let's run it again. and it's funny because we actually creating a simple test PHP file. We can just go into the machine directly into the machine and create it. But this is an Ansible tutorial, so basically the commands that I'm running is basically to create a file on the machine, and it created the file successfully. So basically the create true is basically stating yes, please create the file. So perhaps stay true. Okay, that's fine for now. What was my IP? Okay, so that's the IP. What is this? Okay, let's go into TTP. So let's make sure it's running, and it's running. There you go. So now it was called PHP info.php, and there we go. PHP is running successfully. So we have the PHP what let's see if we can, where is my editor? Oh, yeah, because I want to go to link. No. There you go. So basically, let's look for curl, PHP 7 curl. Let's see if that's in there. It's going to probably come with a lot of stuff though, right? It's only 7. Okay. So there we go. We have curl enabled, right? We see curl support. Yep. Curl 7.1. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's see. Let's look for JSON, and then we have JSON. Do we have the MySQL? So everything is looking good. Okay. Okay. So in the next video, we would go ahead and add the MySQL role, and that should be it. Once we add the MySQL role, perhaps we can add a PHP framework in the back end. So we can the one that I haven't used it in a while though, but Laravel, it's a good framework. We can use that, and then there's a couple of dependencies that's related to that. So we're gonna have to install some other roles, but so far it's looking good. Ansible's looking. We have this playbook. We can export it. We can save it. We can upload it to GitHub whenever we want to spawn up a VM. We can use this. So not bad. In fact, we can actually create a VM. That's a whole nother story. We can actually repackage everything that we've done, and we can create a virtual box from it. Okay, until the next tutorial, bye bye.